of Happy Healthy Fit Masterclass Spiritual Warrior Training. I'm so happy to be with you guys again today. I've got some amazing things to talk to you about. And actually last night I was kind of going through my book and going through just some of the research about whey protein. And you know, yesterday I ended the last segment talking about isogenics and the whey protein and actually the number one thing that I did to transform my body. And I was really thinking about that last night when I was taking a walk, about how, and then like I was actually doing some research in the next chapter about whey protein. And even in this book I say that this is the number one thing, that if people just do the workouts, the figureFIT workouts, the 3 workouts, and have the shakes, their body will change. I mean, I ended that yesterday. That was the thing that changed my world forever. So it's like one of those things, you guys, it's like a massive light bulb. When you see something working, you're like, oh, there's seriously something behind the reason why that's working. Why is it working so well? And, you know, there is science behind everything that is building and working so well to build something. There is science behind it. There is data. There is structure. There is something going on to give this thing the momentum to build. And this is the truth behind anything in the entire world. So what is it about weight training, strength training, and then having the protein shakes afterwards that is the game changer? Well, I was like, you know, really thinking about it, and I don't think that I always, I mean, who does this? Who goes out and like says the science all of the time? But I was like, maybe that's what I really need to do, is just really get scientific with you guys and say, you know, this is beyond just the idea that doing this because it's a good thing. Let's talk about the science of what's going on. So I was looking at chapter 2 in the book, and you guys, I'm going to go through this briefly, but I really just want to talk to you about this because what's going on with the protein, the whey protein in particular, is, okay, and let me back up. So when I went dairy free, because, okay, so all whey comes from dairy, all right? So when I cut all dairy out of my diet, the reason people do that, you guys, is because they're cutting out the casein and the lactose. The lactose is what most people have a problem with. Now, see, here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. When you're an infant, you have this enzyme called lactase, and lactase is what breaks down lactose. Now, when you turn about 4 years old, your body as a little child stops producing lactase to break down the lactose, because you no longer need your mother's breast to have foods. So the body organically and naturally stops producing this enzyme, okay? So what that means is when you turn 4 years old, you should stop having milk. Now, somewhere along the weird line, people looked at cows and said, let's drink their milk. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. So when you think about it that way, it does not make sense, okay? And it makes sense why we humans would have a problem with cow milk, okay? So like, let's just break it down and get real. That should make sense. So now the thing is, we continued to drink this milk. We then started putting sugar in it, taking the fat out of it, and then we made skim milk, which was a whole nother ball of wax. It was not good for us. And so over the years, from the it's always so hard for me to say, agricultural revolution, when farming really started to take place, the milk started flowing out of these farms as a form of income, okay? And we humans bought onto this, and we started buying this milk. And then the dairy, the farming association, started pushing milk upon us, okay? So they took the fat out, which is where the cheese comes from, which is where the butter comes from. And they took that liquid and they threw sugar into it and said, here you go, here's some skim milk and 2% milk, drink it. And you did, and we did. And what happened was the sugar impacted our bodies, the lactose impacted our bodies, people started to get sick, people started to get autoimmune disorders. And now if they would have not, like, okay, just if, a little caveat here, they would have just taken the milk in general with the fat and said, here, drink this, it wouldn't have been as bad. Now it's still bad because it has lactose, which you cannot break down, nobody can. So it's not that just this person over there is lactose intolerant. You are, everybody is, I am. We're all lactose intolerant. Nobody has the ability to break down lactose once we get past 4 or 5 years old, okay? So lactose is what harms us, okay? Now there's also a casein, it's a protein there's whey protein and there's casein protein within dairy, okay? Dairy is also something that, casein is also one of the proteins that people have a problem with. Now a lot of times people don't have a problem with the whey protein, okay? So within that milk there is lactose, there is fat, there is whey protein, so there's carbs, a little bit, fat, and then there's protein. There's all of the macros within the dairy, okay? So when you take the dairy and you break it out and you take the whey out of it and you leave it in the form of a protein, then the protein itself is good for you. When you take the fat out of it and you eat the fat only, that's okay. Now this milk part wasn't necessarily needed, okay? So this is why over the years people have learned that they can actually have cheese, but they cannot have the milk. They can actually have whey protein, but they cannot have the full-blown milk concoction, okay? I hope this is making sense. So, all right, so let me dive into my book here because there's some science that I really want to cover. Okay. All right, so, okay. So when they take the protein, the whey protein out of the dairy, they can break this down into whey protein isolates or whey protein hydrolysis. And these are the best forms of protein that are made from the protein, the whey. So these are higher quality, and they contain more protein than other forms of protein powder blends because they are whey protein isolates. They have fewer carbohydrates and fat, and they are perfect for pre and post workout since they are digested by the body quickly. Now whey protein is whey protein over casein protein is digested slowly. Whey protein is digested quickly, and pea protein is also digested slower. Now, pea protein is not going to build muscle tissue like whey protein does. This is why whey protein is far superior over any sort of form, any sort of other protein for muscle building. Now, let me get a little bit into like the arena of when I was doing more like not really bodybuilding, but bodybuilding for like a fitness competition, so building muscle. So when you're lifting weights, there's a case that you can go to the store and buy casein protein. And people do, bodybuilders do. And even though it may be harming them, they're doing this, and they're doing it because it breaks down slower. So there was actually a point in my journey when I was taking casein protein at nighttime before I was going to bed because it broke down slower, because my goal was muscle building. And by taking that at nighttime before you go to sleep, you're actually going to sleep, and your body is breaking down that casein protein over the course of that sleep. So your muscles, which are going into a fasted state, are not away from protein for very long. You guys, this is actually like, you know, if you really think about it, like your body needs some sleep. It needs some time away from the foods. This is bodybuilding. It works, but it's bodybuilding mentality that you need to have food all of the time, but we don't, okay? So casein breaks down slower. Now whey protein, on the other hand, is very, very different. It breaks down very fast. It goes into the muscle tissues rapidly. It actually goes into the bloodstream. So it goes into your small intestines. The small intestines grab it. They pull it into the bloodstream in the form of amino acids, and those amino acids go straight to the muscle tissues to start building and repairing your muscle tissues. Boom, instantly. It's so quick. Okay, so this is why you have to take it after you lift weights. And also, if you really want to gain muscle, taking it before you lift weights is also a really good idea too. So about 30 minutes before your weightlifting session, it's a really good idea. If you're looking to build muscle, focus on whey protein. Okay. So I just covered that. Okay. Here's another thing about whey protein and why it's far superior over any other type of protein. So I'm going to back up before I say this. So when I quit doing dairy, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to try to quit whey protein as well. So I did. And from Isagenix, I ordered their dairy-free pea protein-based shakes. I did this for about a year. And you guys, my body changed a little bit because the whey protein is far superior. I gained weight, a little bit more fat because what I'm about to share with you about what whey protein does for muscle building. What pea protein just does not fuel your muscles like whey protein does, okay? So it was harder for me to gain muscle, and it was harder for me to lose fat, okay? Now here's the science. Let me get into the science here. Whey protein boosts the blood flow to the muscle tissues, which is another secret power of whey protein synthesis. Now, protein synthesis is exactly what I just covered, is when you drink it or you eat it, it goes into the body takes it from the small intestines, take it into the bloodstream then shuttles it to the muscle tissues. That's called whey protein synthesis. Now, increased blood flow to your muscle tissues delivers the nutrients faster, okay? So here's a quick tip. Like when you eat right before lifting weights, your blood flow is in your stomach trying to digest the food. When you're working out, you need the blood flow to be in the muscles to actually help you lift the weights, to actually pump the blood into the muscle tissues so that your muscle tissues can do the work that they came to do. So that's why you need space in between your workouts and your eating. At least you need about an hour and a half. You need, like, it takes your body, when you eat, your body, the blood flow goes straight to your digestive system to help break that down. And then it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to really break down food, and sometimes even longer than that. So you need to have some space in between your workouts and eating. Now, whey protein, a drink, you can drink and your body instantaneously takes that whey protein and shuttles it to the muscle tissue. So that's a little bit different than actually having to break down carbohydrates and fat and like a piece of chicken or eggs or something like that. It's very, very different. So you need to understand that science is that protein synthesis for whey protein is actually fast, it's quick, it's rapid absorption into the muscle tissues, whereas food is going to take longer to break down, okay? Now, whey protein is going to increase the blood flow to the muscle tissues, which then shuttles nutrients into the muscle tissues, including nutrients and glucose. Now, the reason this is important is because, so glucose, nutrients, vitamins and minerals, amino acids, which is protein, and then also oxygen. Okay, so here we go. Let's just quickly talk about oxygen, glucose, and what's happening when you're actually doing these workouts and you're working out. So we go into the workout, we're gonna go lift the weights. And I'm not even gonna talk about running or things like that because in my opinion, those are not called working out. Those are called cardio. Those are called heart support. but they're not called working out because you're not strengthening any sort of muscle tissue. And if you want to change your body, you got to lift weights. And here's why. Okay, so when you lift the weights, let's say we're doing bicep curls or a shoulder press. So the muscle tissue right here has got that whey protein, it's got the nutrients coming to it. Now, from a fasted state or from a homeostasis, this is normal equilibrium. Let's say you woke up, you worked out. Let's just say you ate lunch and maybe you had a snack at 2 and it's 5:30 and you're about to work out. So your body's ready, okay? Everything is at homeostasis. It's where it needs to be. Your muscles have, remember what I said? Carb capacity. They're holding that carbohydrates, the glucose, and they're storing it here for energy in your muscles, okay? It's also stored, a little bit is stored in your liver, but you guys, it's mainly stored in your muscles. So glucose is stored in your muscle tissue, all right? That's what allows you to have that carb capacity, okay? So you push the weights, right? And you're pushing it, you're depleting that glucose that's getting used up as the energy. So that energy is going to everywhere in your body, all the other cells of your body, your digestion, your sweating, your skin, your lymph system, your cardio system. That glucose is getting used in your entire body while you're in that workout. Now, that whey protein actually sends the blood flow to the muscle tissues to actually help support that. Now, if you didn't have the whey protein, you don't have that extra support. And here's what you also don't have. Let me get into the science of this. Okay, where is it? I think I have that later. So what it also does is it helps to break down fat as well because the muscle tissues are being worked. So let me forget the book. So when the muscle tissue is being worked and you've got you're in a fasted state or you're using the glucose from your muscle tissues, when you're starting to run out, your body starts to grab onto the fat for fuel. And when you've got extra blood flow in the muscle tissues and extra oxygen coming to the muscle tissues to work, that actually helps that conversion process of turning glucose to energy. And we're going to get into that next. But glucose turns into what's called adenosine triphosphate. That turns into the energy, which is your basic energy, is what you run off of. And that is what is turned, the glucose is turned to ATP, which is the energy that pushes the muscles, okay? Which is the energy that blinks your eyes, which is the energy that moves you. Stored fat converts, takes longer, but it converts to glucose and then glucose into ATP, okay? Those are the only 2 forms of nutrients that you ever want converting into ATP. You never, ever, 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 ever want to be turning protein, amino acids, muscle tissue to glucose because that is a catabolic state. That's your body eating itself, okay? That's what happens to people who are anorexic, who are sick, who are not getting enough protein. That's what happens to marathon runners. Their body is literally eating itself to fuel itself. Not a good place to be, okay? So this is really important to understand the science behind why whey protein is so, so important for you, okay? So let me talk about water. Water is another one. Before I move on to water, you guys, I'm going to say it again. One of the last things I want to say is that the whey protein that you consume matters. If you're having crappy quality whey protein, that is not a whey protein isolate, that is not a whey protein hydrolysis, you're not getting the right kind of protein in your body and it's not working for you. It's kind of like when I was doing the pea protein, it's just not working for you, okay? So really understanding the science and just putting the highest quality ingredients in your body that you can you will see tremendous difference in your efforts and your results because what you're doing is putting in high quality ingredients. You're actually making it easier on your body to utilize the fuel that you're giving it to build the muscle tissues that you need. If you're not having high quality ingredients, you might as well add like 2 times the amount of effort and time onto your journey, because it takes a lot longer. Okay, so now I want to talk about water, and I did briefly mention this yesterday, so I'm not going to talk too much about it, but you guys, your body is 60% water. Your body doesn't make water. It has no ability to make it, so it needs you to drink it. So I do recommend 1 ounce for every pound that you are. Since your body is 60% water, you need water to, your eyes need water, your mucous membranes need water, your nose, your mouth, other areas of your body need water. For sweating, you need water. Your organs need water. For digestion, you need water. One of the things that can help anybody who's got digestive issues is just simply drinking more water. All right? Water is best, not soda. I talked about that in the last video as well. Not coffee, not soda, not beverages that have a high amount of caffeine in them. Water, just water in general, because water with caffeine in it is going to deplete you of the water you need, because it'll dehydrate you. So you need water as well. Now, caffeine is not bad for you. I'm going to talk about that here in a minute. But sometimes the kind of coffee that you have has acid in it, so it can actually be bad for you, can work against you. But caffeine in general for working out is actually pretty good. And the science behind it has been proven to actually support your workouts. So, you guys, water boosts your metabolism, and here's how. Okay? It's your body's always processing the water. So that alone, any sort of additional processing that you can do for your body is going to help you. And when you add muscle tissue, you're revving at a higher rate. Your metabolism is higher because you have muscle tissue now. And that's just kind of like it's like a Lamborghini versus like a hybrid, right? They're just kind of in shutdown mode on a battery. But when you've got a Lambo, it's got that that massive engine that just is hungry to go. It's hungry. It uses a fuel, and that's exactly what muscle tissue does for the body. Let's see. I talked about alcohol quite extensively in the last video, so I'm not going to go in that today. Water can actually help you to control your calories. You can drink water when you feel like you're hungry, and see if you can buy yourself a little bit of time before you go and eat. So next time you guys are hungry, I want you to go, you know what, I'm going to go have like 16 ounces of water, and then walk away and see if you forget about the food. See if you forget about the hunger and just go try that instead. Water helps to energize your muscles. Water helps your skin to be supple and refreshed and look dewy rather than dry. Water helps your kidneys do their job. You guys, your kidneys' job is to excrete everything. So if you go to the bathroom and your urine is yellow or stinky, that's almost too late. That's the sign that you need water right now. So you always want your urine to be clear, never yellow, because that just means that you don't have enough water in your body. So always be watching your urine to see the color of it. And if you get to that place where it's stinky, you're way beyond that point where you need water. Really, research nowadays is actually showing we're dehydrated quite a bit of the time. We're 8 ounces of water, 8 cups of 8 ounces of water is not enough. And that's what the lovely world, like the FDA has said, this is what you need. You guys, they're not right. These are like the bare minimums of what we need. You need at least, like I said in the last video, half an ounce of water, half of your body weight in water. If you can do your full body weight every day in water, it's tough because you actively have to focus on drinking water all of the time throughout the day. That's one of the best things that you will ever do for your body, for your skin, for your kidneys, for your muscles, for your energy, for your sleep, for your small intestines. I already said kidneys, for your liver. It's one of the best things that you will ever do. Okay. It helps to move the bowels. So like I said, it helps with your digestion. And now let me talk really quickly about caffeine. Caffeine has gotten a bad rap. Caffeine itself is beneficial, especially if you get it from the right sources. Now, I did say that sometimes caffeine from coffee can actually work against you, and it's because of the acid in the coffee. Now, there's been a ton of research done on caffeine in a workout and prior to a workout, because it can actually increase the performance. It sends extra blood flow to the muscle tissue, so it can help you to get a better muscle pump. And this is what I was looking for earlier. It can increase the conversions from fat to fuel, so fat to glucose to energy. It increases that. So if you are actually looking to burn off a lot of amounts of fat off of your body, it would actually be beneficial for you to have high quality caffeine before your workouts, okay? So high quality caffeine, what does that look like? Isagenix sells high quality caffeine in the form of a pre-workout drink that you can get. You can also get it from green tea. If you do like an organic coffee, that can be okay, but green tea is going to be better, or matcha, okay? So, or even a pure, which I don't really like to recommend this, but because I really don't really recommend caffeine all that much, but in this sense, if you like it and you can tolerate it, you guys, do it. It works really well in your workouts. Some people take actually caffeine pills. I wouldn't recommend that. If you're gonna do something like that, just buy a pre-workout, a high quality pre-workout drink. Like Isagenix has Amped Power, and that has caffeine in it, but that also has creatine in it. And I'm gonna talk about that here in a moment. Okay, so caffeine can work against you when it affects the hormones. The acid in the coffee can affect your hormones in a negative way. So Dr. Terry Graham might be somebody you want to look up. He's one of the world's foremost caffeine researchers, and he's performed a study where a group received pure caffeine and the other received caffeine from coffee. The group that got pure caffeine had the expected improvement in exercise performance, but the group that had coffee did not. It appeared that one or more of the chemicals of the nutrients in the coffee impaired the positive effects of the caffeine. Caffeine seems to enhance all major alterations of the body to prepare itself for exercise. It boosts your adrenaline levels. It lowers adenosine. Adrenaline also inhibits the hormone insulin and increases levels of glucagon. In glucagon, this combination signals the body to flood the blood with glucose, which provides muscles with the energy that they need to contract and give you a better muscle pump when you're working out. Okay, so let me talk briefly about creatine. Creatine is something that I have used when I have wanted to gain muscle. Creatine is like a 6-week solution that you're going to want to choose creatine, like a really good high quality creatine. If you guys are interested in this, I would highly recommend that you get the Amped pre-workout and just start taking this. Commit to maybe 2 months supply of that would be 1 container every month through Isagenix. And if you are really looking to gain muscle, and a lot of you who have never really lifted weights or have baby muscle, this might be a really good thing for you to do. Right now, I am at the place in my body where I have mature muscle. I have built my muscle base. I have muscles in my forearms. Like, look, you know, like I didn't have that. I used to have fat where muscle is now. So it took time for my body to build the muscle. So this is why we say you cannot give this program a 90-day ending date, because you guys, you just began. So it takes your body time to build the muscle that you need to make the body conversions that you need, okay? Now, when you take creatine, it takes time. You preload it in the beginning for about 5 days, get a lot of creatine in your body. Your body does store extra water. So if you're wanting to look thin during this time, it's not the time. If it's summertime and you wanted to like look thin, if it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. If you have a lot of weight to lose, and it might not matter to you. But if you're already pretty lean and you don't want to have like water retention, I wouldn't recommend doing this right now. But if you're ready to get the muscle that you want, because you're going to retain a little bit of water. It's not a lot, but you're going to retain some. So you kind of preload with creatine, and then you get on a regular regimen of doing like, it's like, I would have it in my shake, my protein shake pre-workout. And you have it like twice a day. It's just like a teaspoon or something like that. And then you just take it. You just take it for about 6 weeks. You just run through the cycle of taking that creatine, and it helps to build muscle. It works really, really well. So ladies, I would highly recommend it. This is not just a man thing. A lot of women who are in the fitness industry have taken creatine to build their muscle and to get their body where they want it. So this would be something that I would recommend. Another thing that I would recommend for those of you, this is not in my book, to those of you who are looking to really convert, who have become a fat burner or who have a lot of fat to convert, look into the supplement L-carnitine. I almost said L-creatine. L-carnitine. L-carnitine is a fat transporter and a mitochondrial enhancer. So your cells, inside every cell, are mitochondria. These are the powerhouse of every cell. Now your fat of whatever you eat or your body is converting, it's actually the fat is going in and out of the cell. Now, when you've got extra help helping the fat, that's what L-carnitine is. It's a natural amino acid that you can take. And sorry, I just got sidetracked. There were police that drove by. So it's a natural. Okay, hold on. What? I just totally lost my where I was. Oh yes. So L-carnitine is a natural amino acid that you do get when you eat protein or when you drink protein shakes. But when you're a fat burner, it would not hurt to, or if you're looking to burn extra fat for fuel, it would not hurt to add the supplement in. I've done it and I've loved the results. So you guys, that's all I have for today. Feel free to ask any questions you have below. And if you're ready to get started with Isagenix, just post below or reach out to me, and let's get you going with Isagenix. We'll build you your own order, and we'll talk about your goals and what you want, and we'll get you going. And this is going to be something that you'll do for the long haul. So you really got to take a look at your budget and your life, and look at your life and your meals, and look at what you can eliminate, or really what you would want to replace. So if it's a meal replacement, for me, I literally have like 5 meals a day, and 2 of those meals are meal replacement shakes, okay? And I have snacks. You know, some of the snacks, I actually got a shipment today of my Isagenix, and I've got like the chips. So they're called Whey Thins. I get their chips, and I love them. And for me, it's better to have, if I'm gonna have chips, if I'm craving chips and I want them, well, guess what? I'm gonna have them. This is life, right? So you're better off, you're gonna get the cravings anyways. You need to find those replacements of what you're willing to eat anyways, and what you're willing to let go of, okay? So that's what you really gotta look at. What are your goals? And let's get you on a program that works for you. So you guys, the shakes are literally like $3.98 a piece. If you go out and have a meal, you're not gonna get that anywhere, and these will last you. They will hold you over a good 2 to 3 hours, all right? So, but the thing is, we're being deliberate with these. We're having the meal replacement shakes after our workouts. Now, if you want protein only, I just feel like I've been blah, 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 this whole time and not taking any breath. That's another one that we need to talk about. I'm going to talk really quickly about that before I get off. Protein only is something that I would take before a workout, because I'm not really adding carbohydrate. Unless I'm building muscle, then yeah, then I want to actually add the carbs. I want to have it before and after. So I would actually want to have the meal replacement before and after my workout if I want to build muscle. Okay, I don't want to build more muscle right now. I want to maintain. So before my workout, I'm having the protein to just fuel my current existing muscle tissue. And then afterward, I'm having my meal replacement shake to fuel what I just broke down and tore, and to help rebuild it, and to replace the lost glucose that was stored in my muscle tissue that I just expelled during that workout. Okay, now then after that, I'm back to homeostasis. The meal after that shake that's when I start getting into the nutrition and fat loss mastery e-course. That's when you start really kind of looking at your lifestyle and what you're going to have. And for all of you that are members, there's a page in the program, inside the program, that shows you how to build your meals. So all you really got to do is follow that. And all of this is listed here. Once you print that off, you'll really get a good understanding once you've watched this video and once you print that off, like how to eat. Okay, so it's really all right there. It's all right there. So you guys, thank you so much for being here today. I love you all and I'm so grateful for you. And I know that this is going to support you massively on your journey towards a muscle developed, beautiful sculpted body, whether you're a man or a woman. Beautiful toned muscle tissue looks amazing. I also know this is going to help you on your fat loss efforts, okay? So also just being healthy in general, knowing what to do is key, and doing it is the right thing, okay? All right, guys, so much love to you. Have a great day. Bye. Mwah.